Is it dragons? Sure is.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
This video and my channel are sponsored by Whatnot. What's Whatnot? It's the website you see behind me. Whatnot is a platform where you can stream and sell and buy cool collectibles. All these things you see behind me are actually live streams where people are showing off cool collectibles that they're selling. They're cracking open packs where you can actually do a break of that pack where you kind of blind buy the cards before you know what they are, but you're doing it at a discount. It's really fun. And there's also these rapid fire auctions, which people like me have done on their live streams. I've also done some live streams on Whatnot where I've sold handmade tokens, which are expertly drawn. They're almost as good as this. Not quite as good. This one's special. If you want to join Whatnot, you should definitely use the referral link in the description of the video because it gets you $15 off your first purchase, and that's awesome because it means you can spend that money on things like my bad drawings the next time I do one of these live streams. So once again, thank you so much to Whatnot for supporting this channel. Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I am playing Sarkhan, Soul of Flame, desparked and now in Is It colors. Sarkhan Soul of Flame discounts your dragons, which means you want to be playing lots of dragons. You don't really have to convince me to play dragons. I love playing dragons. They're super fun. They're a really big, scary, powerful flying creature, and I love to fill a deck with them. But Sarkhan does more than just discount your dragons. He can also become your dragons. When Sarkhan's on the battlefield and another dragon enters play under your control, you can choose to turn Sarkhan into that dragon, which kind of gives that dragon pseudo haste. This is really good with the expensive, scary dragons that have on-attack abilities like Drakaseth, less impressive with ones that have enter the battlefield abilities, and really awesome with certain token dragons, like the one on There and Back Again, because it's really cool to get two Smogs into play. Yes, this does work for tokens. It works for tokens made by anybody, and this Sarkhan can also make tokens if you turn it into something like Lathless and then play another dragon. It's really good stuff. So, this deck is kind of what you would expect. It's got all the good mono-red dragons that I felt I wanted to put into this deck, and a few things in blue to supplement. Mostly that just means a couple of the good blue dragons like Iymrith. You also have Galazeth, Prismarni, and Lozanne, which are these Is It dragons. And we also get to play counterspells. Now, I didn't put that many in. I put what I'm going to call my regular slew of counterspells in. Wash Away, Negate, Memory Lapse, Tail's End, and I also put in Cyclonic Rift. This is just a one-sided board bounce, and it's a mistake of a card, but it does work in this deck pretty dang well. Yes, I'm being asked, why isn't Niv Mizzet in this deck? Because 3 blue pips is kind of tricky, and I don't really feel like this deck is built that much around instants and sorceries. You could absolutely put more burn in here, but instead I'm focused more on ramp and protecting some of my things with these small number of counterspells. Most of these counterspells are really designed to just stop my opponent's commander and maybe a board wipe. That's why that negate is in there. I'm not running counterspell just because it costs 2 blue, and blue is very much the secondary color of this deck. This deck, as you can kind of see, is mostly mono red. In fact, it's so red, I'm running a Nykthos in this deck. We're gonna get some mono red devotion going on in here. So we're going to take Sarkhan, Souls of Flame, into the queue, and we're going to become the dragon! Riverglide Telcore Engineer! He's an artificer who is an artifact who also makes artifacts and can turn all your tokens into the same token. This guy can kill you really fast, and you have to be very careful of how many tokens there are on the battlefield, and I don't just mean creature tokens. Riverglide is really cool because you can use, let's say, all of your treasure tokens and turn them into clones of Riverglide himself, as long as they're not legendary, or maybe you do want to turn them into a legendary token. There's a Smog, for example, and Smog becomes a legend, which then dies when it sees another Smog and gets you 14 treasures. It's pretty sweet. Riverglide with Smog? Love that. Alright, Riverglide, what do you got? Oh, pinging me for 1, making a blood, and getting a wee vampire on the battlefield. I'll get somebody out too. It's Magda. I want to play Magda here because I want to make sure I can get to 3 mana, because I don't have a 3rd land. One of the things that's kind of a bummer about this deck compared to, for example, my last Is It Dragons deck, which was my Lozan deck, is that this deck does not have a dragon as its commander, which means that things that help you specifically ramp for dragons do not work in this deck. It's kind of unfortunate that that's how this deck rolls, but, you know, it's cool. I'm going to play Sarkhan. They might wash away. This could also just be the blood holding priority saying, hey, do you want to discard and draw? I might be discarding and drawing if I get another land with Sarkhan to help get myself another land. Just got one anyway. Perfect. I am still going to play this Sarkhan. And I think I will discard to draw to try and find another land. So I could either drop the Tail's End or the Wash Away. I'm going to drop the Tail's End. And I'm going to sit here. Sky Strike Officer, when it attacks in, does make a soldier token. And they're going to make 2 of them! They can also tap 3 soldiers, I believe, to draw a card. So when 2 of these are swinging in, they'll be making even more soldiers. Sarkhan does not appreciate getting bopped, though. Not cool, bro. Not cool! I'm going to add 2 red to my mana pool. Use that for the Mutavault. In this mountain to play Wrathful Red Dragon. I'm going to turn Sarkhan into a Wrathful Red Dragon. Say, rugger. And attacking for 5. This is only until end of turn. I honestly wish that this was just until you played your next dragon, you could choose to change which dragon he is. But we can't. Smurl! Thank you so much for the 13-month resub! I appreciate that. Thank you. Aww. They're undoing my dragon. Putting my Wrathful Red Dragon back into hand. Everybody's attacking Sarkhan. That gives them 2 more soldiers. That is enough for them to tap to draw a card. Boop, boop, boop. And now I'm a little afraid of them playing Brutaclad next turn. They could turn all of these into Sky Strike Officers, and they would all have haste. Kind of scary. They're probably going to make sure that I hold this Wash Away up. Hey, wait a minute. Do you think about Tails ending my Fabled Passage? I feel like you were thinking about it. Going to bring back out the Wrathful Red Dragon. Rawr, I'm a dragon. If you hit my dragons, I hit you back. Not as good against tons of little tokens, but you can actually end games just by wiping the board with a damage-based board wipe if you have a Wrathful Red Dragon out. It's one of the coolest ways to end a game, if you ask me. I think that's cool. Behold, I am yet once again a dragon! Rawr! Pop it! Sarkhan Soul Flame swings in for another 5. Boop. Nice. I'm also going to sip my soda pop. Soda pop. It's Brutaclad! No Brutaclad. They do have 1 mana. There is the potential for them to counter my counter. Did not happen. We are safe for a moment from an army of Sky Strike Officers. They're looking at my graveyard like, wait a minute. Dragons are allowed to have blue? Yes. Yes, we are. We could go for there and back again. Inferno with the Star Mounts, Galzeth Prismari. I'm going to go for Sarkhan the Masterless. I will turn Sarkhan into a 4/4 dragon. I really wish he would stay a dragon until next turn. He doesn't. I will swing in with both. Bam! Bring them to 6. So there is a chance that they will get their Brutaclad out this next turn. If they do that, they can turn all the tokens into Sky Strike Officers, but because we have a Wrathful Red Dragon out and a Sarkhan, anything attacking in will be taking 2 damage. Any blocking we do will reflect that blocked damage back onto their face. We're in a really solid spot here, and they know it, so we win the game. All it takes is dragons and 1 well-timed counterspell. GG! the dog and Titan together to reanimate things from the graveyard. Cruxa and Kunaros are a kind of unusual commander pair because one of them hates things leaving the graveyard and one of them really wants to make things leave the graveyard. Cruxa and Kunaros essentially escapes things from your graveyard when it enters the battlefield or attacks, but you need to have enough fuel in your graveyard to get that rolling. Alright, we're gonna throw that in this Wayfarer's Bauble. Sorry, I dragged the Dragon's Horde. I was like, oh yeah, I have one artifact in hand. I have two. Stitcher Supplier, going to mill. Ooh, and they've already got a huge reanimation target right there. That's a Sheoldred. Yikes. A little scary. I'll just sit here, getting ready to pop open this Bauble to get another mana. I don't want to Dragonsfire this because that puts more cards in their graveyard. And we Bibble Bobble. I will get more red mana. Red mana acquired. A Dragon's Horde. I am going to pay the 3 to hold open Dragon's Fire. I could have also played like a Shiv and Devastator for X=1. Wouldn't have done much. I just want to make sure I can light something on fire in case. It was worth me paying the 3 life in my head, at least. There and back again. Stitcher Supplier cannot block. Not that this can block flying things anyway, but it can't block. Really what I want to do here is I just want to have the 3rd chapter be when Sarkhan's on the battlefield this next turn. Oh, Terror of the Peaks, though. Terror of the Peaks, though. Terror of the Peaks, though? Not quite enough mana for it. Also, Sarkhan does not get the Enter the Battlefield ability. Sure, you know what, Sarkhan? You turn into a Townraiser Tyrant for a brief moment in time. You feel a great elation, a surge of joy, and then our opponent concedes? That's fair. Sarkhan was going to turn into a 6/6 Smaug next turn. Townraiser Tyrant and a couple of 6/6. We're going to swing in for a ton of damage. Then with Terror to Peaks out, we were going to blast for even more on the Enter the Battlefields of any other creatures we have. GG. A Krymosaur, a Tali, Primal Conqueror, here to steal my dragons. Really, my dragons? Really wish you wouldn't. Tali is a crazy good ramp target because when it comes into play, it takes this top spell of each player's library and lets you cast it for free. So the name of the game is going to be ramp for them and ramp for me, and also hopefully me holding up this tail's end until this Atali gets cast and then countering it, but they're probably running a lot of ways to make this uncounterable. At least that's what I do in my Atali deck, because it's smart. The monkey. My god. I could hold up the tail's end there. Not my priority. I would rather get the Den of the Bugbear in untapped this turn, just to make sure if I need my mana on future turns, I'll have it. I got Spitflame! There's no targets for Spitflame, but this does mean I won't have my really cool recurrable dragon removal. Spitflame's really nice because if it's in my graveyard and a dragon entered the battlefield, I can bring this back. Just costs 1. It's a very cool piece of, like, dragon tech. They have 3 mana. Do you want to Spitflame your own monkey or something? No. Yeah, you do. Of course you do. You have Spitflaming monkeys. I'm going to play Sarkhan, Souls of Flame, and hope that he can just sit here and survive while he blocks the Glanor Elf, the Ragavan. How much mana do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't like that. That's 1 off from Atali. Too much! Oh, not Chandra's Hope's Beacon! That is a very, very good card. And it also can get you 2 mana. Or it could minus to get rid of a blocker. Huh. That was an extremely neutral turn for this Chandra. Makes me very uncomfortable. I could go for attacking Chandra with a pair of dragons. I'm just gonna hold that tail's end. They've got 7, and here comes no. No Atalis. No dinosaurs. This now costs 2 more, which buys me enough time to secure some real dragonitude here. I think I should go with... Inferno's the most dragon, and then I can draw a card, but I'm going to go with Skargan Hellkite instead. I'm going to give you haste. Throw down Magda. And attack with both at Chandra. Okay. Inferno with the star mounts would have been what would kill Chandra. This leaves her at 1 loyalty, but I guess countering their commander once is all it took. Counter spells are good. Who'd have thunk it? Furia, Judge of Valor. This is an uncommon commander. She's an angel, and she cares about casting 2 spells in a turn. When you do, you get a card in hand and some cards in the graveyard. It's kind of nice. They said nice to me. I'll say hi. Oh, the hi didn't go through. I'll say hi. There we go. Hello, I've played a Dragonmaster Outcast and a Magda. One of these is ramp, and one of these cares about if I ramp, but only land-based ramp. In you go, kiddos. They've played Ornithopter of Paradise. Lets them block this. We have 4 mana now. I'll just use that for Sarkhan. Bank this treasure so we can tap that treasure for 2 next turn with the gold span. This bish gets them a Plains. The bish is short for ambitious. Farmhand. I should be more clear about that. Uh-oh. That's blockers. Goldspan Dragon. Rid them of their blockers. Well, not right away. So, Sarkhan is going to turn into one. Magda's going to swing in 2 because I want 3 treasures. And now I have 8 mana. I lose the discount that Sarkhan was giving for these other dragons in my hand. But does that really matter when we can throw down something like Atsushi for just 2? I'll throw down Atsushi. Terror to the Peaks will get us the most value, but I want to set up a little bit more for it, just in case they have a board wipe here. They are in Orzhov colors. Black and white means gotta be wary of Wrath of God. Played the Hogra Brood Pit, comes in tapped. Could have used that to kill one of my creatures, didn't. Phyrexian Reclamation. For some wee reanimators. I won't block. You get 2. And I guess you can use that to draw a card. Neat. Terror to the Peaks. Sarkhan becomes a Terror of the Peaks. Wrathful Red Dragon. Yeah, GG. This thing enters the battlefield. We deal 10 damage. I guess a Sleepy Hedron, sure. Then we attack it and we win the game. Yeah! Nira Wild Mage. She turns whatever spell you cast into something else. What something else? Well, something chaotic. Nira is the wild magic wild mage, and she really does cast anything instead of anything. When you cast your first spell during a turn, you can choose to throw it to the bottom of your deck. If you do, you reveal from the top of your library until you find another spell, and then you cast it for free. That means you can turn your ops into, well, Sublime Epiphanies. You don't want many counter spells in your deck. That one's still pretty cool. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff with that. Let's see. Sarkhan. Fearsome Whelp. Just gonna chill here. It's kind of hard for me to kill Nira in my deck because she's a 2/7 and we're dragons. We're big, but dealing 7 damage is still pretty tricky. They got a Letter Shredder out that's giving them a bit of filter. Ooh, a Goblin. Cool Goblin you got in there. Discounting those wee instants and sorceries. Let's see, they surveilled, lining up the top cards of their deck. Wow, we sure did discount. This Fearsome Whelp was able to discount these dragons quite a bit. I'm going to start with the Wrathful Red Dragon. Just get that into play. Turn Sarkhan into one. I don't have mana now for Galazeth Prismari, since I have to scry on this. Do I want this? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Yes, it's a cool dragon. And I'll attack with Sarkhan, who is suddenly a 5/5. Nice. I just wanted to deal more damage this turn. If we'd played Galazeth Prismari first, we would have gotten a treasure. We'd have used the treasure for stuff. Not my super important stuff. By the way, you're going to notice they are playing a lot of things that manipulate the top of their deck. Cavalier Gales, Brainstorm, you saw that Otherworldly Gaze before. Those are all great with Nira because you can put a card from your hand on top of your deck, or just check what's on top of your deck and mess around with it a little bit. Alright, we got a Skargan Hellkite, a Mind Stone. How much mana did I have? They could play that Nira this next turn. I'm going to play Galazeth Prismari. Yeah, sure. Sarkhan, you look kind of like a Galazeth Prismari. Play my second spell per turn. This Ledger Shredder draws and discards. They connive. And I'm attacking with everybody. The Wrathful Red Dragon has been dealt some damage, and we're going to reflect that onto the Ledger Shredder and their face. Cavalier of Gales shuffles, and they scry. You're a very pretty dragon, Sarkhan. I'm glad you get to live your dreams. Is it time for Nira? I feel like typically when you have Nira, you wait until you can cast a spell, and then you get her out. Okay, Storm's Wrath. It happens. My dragons are dead. Okay, my dragons and my human shaman are dead. I should be more clear. Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Okay. I'm going to play Dragonlord Servant. Phyrexian Dragon Engine. And then I'm going to sit here. Because I'm still holding up Tail's End for Nira. As I said before, this deck probably doesn't have that many counter spells in it, because they're bad to hit with Nira. They could still absolutely have some. They've got 5 damage so far on this battlefield. I think we just go aggro. Faces the place. Sarkhan, go get him! No, wait, Sarkhan stays back here. Skargan Hellkite, Phyrexian Dragon Engine, and Dragonlord Servant, go get him! Sweet! Love a good couple dragons and their goblin friend. You're as much of a dragon as this guy is. Spiteful Banditry. They're gonna wipe the board. Great card, though. I like Spiteful Banditry as like a new red board wipe. We still have 4 damage here with the Phyrexian Dragon Engine, because we unearth it on this turn. I'll play the land first, since we can discard our hand and draw a fresh one. Let's see if they have a way to counter this. A Tail's End? No. An Abrade? A Bolt! Or is it just 4 damage? From the dragon from beyond, GG Geistman. Foreign collects the big green guy with Trample and Reach. He gets you 2 forests when he enters the battlefield, which is pretty dang sweet. And also this hand has no red mana in it, so I'm going to throw it back. This hand sort of has red mana in it. Part of the cards. Let's go ahead and throw down this island, which we can definitely use to cast our Lightning Bolts, Ragavans, and Fearsome Dragons. This Vorinclex is a green stompy guy, and he has this really cool flip ability. If you have enough mana, you can actually turn this Sarkhan over into a saga, where he mills you, but then brings back some of the milled creatures. Then he makes your creatures bigger, and then he makes them fight. But again, I'm going to point out he does have reach, and I'm playing dragons. you know, it's a little tricky for me. Also, they just attacked with their guy with reach, which means I can get 1 damage in. And my, let's call it expert strategy of countering people's commander does not work here because they have an Allosaurus Shepherd. I can't counter their green spells. Like this guy. Yeah, we could play a turn 3 Ragavan. It's not quite gonna get there. Or burn down the house doesn't even kill this Vorinclex. We might have to, like, pull something cheeky where it's like, oops, I forgot, and I attack into the Vorinclex, and I just, like, fingers crossed, hope that they block, and then we wipe the board. Here, have a monkey. Love those. You love monkey. You think this guy's great. You think he's really funny. Maybe you don't. Finally! A non-green spell! Take him when we got him, right? Hey, Allosaurus Shepherd. You must be so sick and tired of my BS. Alright, our Glorybringer is actually getting to a slightly more affordable mana cost, but we don't have double red yet. We're going to use our Fabled Passage to get double red, but it's going to be tapped. There we go. A mountain and Sarkhan. And we sit here. Pondering, wondering. Hoping and dreaming. They have 8 mana. Is it time to flip over Vorinclex? I hope you hit 0 creatures in the top 10 cards of your deck. Oh no, those are some really, really good creatures, including Vorinclex and Zoprindel. This Vorinclex. This Zoprindel. Oh, also Wormcoil Engine. Titania. Silverback Elder. I'm a little mana screwed. It's fine. We can't always win. We can't always have enough mana to cast spells. I take it. Ow. Ah, finally. My dream of having a 2-mana Glorybringer. I am going to attack with my Fearsome Whelp and my Ragavan. You should block one. Great. All my lands stay tapped for another turn. But everything except for this Vorinclex and this Vorinclex do die. They're going to put 7 +1/+1 counters onto Vorinclex. Yeah, you're a 14/13 who doubles the mana, huh? That's a Cultivator Clause. You got any lands in hand? 1. Just 1. And then an elf. So you have 9 lands. I have 4. It's pretty good. I think I'm going to die. Here, let me show them what I got. Bolt the Elvish Mystic. Pretty impressive, I know. Gotta bolt the bird on turn 9. It's 9, right? Sorry. 7. What are you doing? What are you doing, free kill 555? Attack me! I showed you my lightning bolt. Please respond. They just really want to play more spells. I get it. You have Eldrazi Titans. Do you know what I have? Oh, I don't actually have 4 lands. I have 2 lands. Okay, well that's pretty rude. I'll leave. Bye, Vorinclex. No, they were rude. Toulouse Clever Conductor, a tempo commander who discards cards but then keeps them safely beneath her in exile and then brings them back later in the game. Toulouse can be very tricky to play against because she has access to very nice spells, both removal, card draw, and creatures. I guess that's not a both, that's 3 different things. Toulouse is cool though. Hey Toulouse. don't counter my Sarkhan? Okay. I figured it was worth checking. They do have a counterspell. It was Wash Away. Hey, I've got Wash Away in this deck too. I mentioned before this is going to be a tempo deck. That's how it rolls. Mind Stone. This looks like counterspell mana too. What if I destroyed your Mind Stone? Not yet. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Does it get negated? Anything? Nope. I get a goblin! Oh, I love a goblin. This is my goblin. His name is Mark, and he's going to get me treasures. 1 mana. And a Chromatic Lantern. Cool. Even with still 2 on the board, I am going to discard Leyline Tyrant. It's good, but it's not really what I want right now. We're going to swing on in with this Goblini. Excellent work, my sweet, sweet Gobliner. And I'm going to use Prismari Command just on my turn to destroy artifact and make a treasure. I get a treasure. You don't have a Chromatic Lantern. See if this resolves. If they have like a negate, I do feel like they may have used it next turn. Okay, it's counterspell. Actual factual counterspell. I'll let it go through. I don't really feel like memory lapsing my spell or their spell. I'd rather save the memory lapse to mess up everything else they do and protect my goblin. Okay. Bye, goblin. I don't want to protect against that because it just goes back and they cast it again. This flippies, and we have a lot of non-legendary dragons, which are great for copying. But I want them to cost less, so I'm going to, again, try to get Sarkhan out. Sarkhan has resolved on the battlefield. Sarkhan is going to be sacrificed to Liliana. Dang, man. That sucks. That sucks, bro. Then at a bug. Going to attack in. Perfect. They brainstorm. They manipulate the top of their library. You have a Rafine sleeve? That's very thematic for Tula's. They take an extra turn. Okay. What? So they already put stuff on top of their deck, so they know what they draw and discard. That goes into exile. Cool. Sarkhan. Not this Sarkhan. And not the other Sarkhan either. Sarkhan. Dang. If that had landed, it would have killed Toulouse, and that would have been so beautiful. Go get him, Goblini! Yeah, nice. 1 damage. Counts. Uh-oh. There's thought sneezing at me. I feel like Iymrith or Terror of the Peaks is probably a good target here. Dragonstaff, I'm kind of far away from. Yeah, Terror of the Peaks I think is smart. Bringing out a Signet. They say Sig not gonna happen. Fearsome Whelp! And I attack for 1! It's a pretty strong attack. Well, that's an 8/8. Hexproof. Nice. That would have been good to memory lapse. Really, Elder Dragon Ward should not hit my own dragons. But it does. Very, very much so. Here, have a dragon that's ancient and copper. Attack for 1. All these are going to be tapped anyway at my turn. They all become sideways, and then they get to steal on chapter 3. Oh, never mind. Those are going back into my hand. Okay, I'm down to 2. I can deal 2 damage to you. And I can deal 2 damage to you. And I'm going to die with the Kraken. Hey, that's my saga. Aw, darn. GG to Liz. Niban, Dean of Iteration. Mono Blue. Wizards? Now, I'm not 100% sure I remember what he does, but I think he doubles wizard abilities. Oh my god, he doubles wizard abilities. That's fantastic. Here's a monkey. Please don't concede when I play a turn 1 monkey. Look. We can trade. We can trade? We can trade? Monkey? Monkey hits face, we get a treasure and a Siren Storm Tamer. Oh, that's actually kind of great because I can use this without sacrificing a treasure. I say, even though I'm going to sacrifice a treasure anyway to play Dragonlord Servant to discount any dragons I have. I actually have no dragons in my hand. I have lands, I have burn, and now I have your Siren Pirate Wizard. Excuse me, beep beep, out of the way. That's what it sounds like when you become an automobile. We're going to steal another card off their library. It's a land. Can't use that. And they're going to concede. And that's completely fair. Because I played a turn 1 Ragavan. Thanks for sticking around as long as you did. GG. Garuda, Doom of Depths. A symmetrical mill creature, when it enters the battlefield, throws cards into the graveyard, and then brings one of them back. But there's a caveat. The card it brings back has to have an even mana value. You can actually run Garuda as your companion, too, if your deck has all even mana values. Which is really, really fun to do. I have a Garuda Muldrotha deck. Garuda is the companion, Muldrotha is the commander. And it's really fun to have those two together because it gives you a deck building restriction. They're not running that, which means they'll have access to a lot of the even and odd mana spells on top of, I don't know, whatever big scary thing they want to reanimate. They could also hit some of my dragons. There are some very strong 6 mana dragons. I can think of 2 of them in my deck. And there's also some really cool 4 mana dragons. In fact, I feel like 4 mana dragon is kind of like the default amount of mana for a dragon. Like the 4 mana 4/4, like this guy, it's just like the regular cost of a dragon. Dragon's Horde. The dragons!
This is the Fearsome Whelp. It's a little guy.
At the start of my turn, I will have a discount to any dragons to my hand. A perpetual discount. Thank you, Fearsome Whelp. They've actually reworked this card a bunch of times to make it weaker and slower, because it was just so hard to respond to this card before it gave the opponent value. Also, look at that art. It's so cute. Oh, hey, Rankle. Do we discard? Do we discard? We draw a card, sacrifice a creature. I'll trade my Fearsome Whelp for your Rankle. Oh my god, for real? Ah, tradesies! I love this. I think I'll drop the island. With these 2 mana rocks, I feel like I'm pretty good for the amount of mana I have. Sweet, a land. That means I can play Sarkhan. Just like this little guy also discounts my dragons. And the card I will use is Thunderbreak Regent. Sarkhan, sure, you can turn into a dragon. Okay, he immediately stops being a dragon because there's no other game actions I can take this turn. Thunderbreak Regent protects my dragons by making spells that target my dragons a little bit more painful. You know, it deals 3 damage to their face. Using Terramorphic Expanse, sacrificing it, and grabbing themselves a land. For mana, that is enough for the Sphinx of Foresight, which can block my Thunderbreak Regent. Because they're in Dimir colors, there's also probably some good kill, exile, and counter spells in their deck. Yep, this is an exile spell. It's Soul Transfer, where they exile my dragon. They did have to lose 3 life. That's completely fair. But what if you were a dragon, Sarkhan? What if you were a dragon? We're gonna turn Sarkhan into the generic dragon token. He's still called Sarkhan Soul Flame. Nope, and I want to draw a card off my Dragon's Horde. Monkey! Monkey's just really good ramp. And crime. And everything. Put it in your red decks. The only downside with this card is a lot of people just kind of concede to it if you play it early. It's like, I get it. It should not be legal in this format. Ban Ragavan. Listen, this is my horrible little monkey son, and he should be banned in 1v1. Oh, Garuda's coming down! They finally got 2 6-mana, and they milled Atsushi from me. That is a 4-mana creature. And for them, Dream Eater, which surveils and bounces. They can bounce this dragon token, making it like it never even existed. Goodbye, beautiful dragon token. Goodbye. I think we're gonna go for some damage this turn, though, with the Town Razor Tyrant. I'm going to turn Sarkhan into a Town Razor Tyrant. I guess we'll make this not have text? Sure. Sarkhan becomes a Town Razor Tyrant. Sarkhan the Masterless just becomes 4/4. That's what he does. And we're going to use Dragon's Fire to just deal 3 damage to this Dream Eater. We're going to swing in for these. Kablamo. Okay, I'll draw a card. I like to draw a card. Oh, ooh, Lapless. Wait. Monkey? Do I want to play the monkey? I don't want to play the monkey. I was thinking, like, I can use this to chump block. But if I play it next turn, it could be a surprise monkey that they don't expect. Yeah, get him. You know what? I will block. The reason I'm going to block here is I think it's a lot easier for a blue-black deck to destroy all creatures than it is for them to destroy a Planeswalker. And currently, they're both doing the same amount of damage. Maestro Cedar will gain them a life, get them a land. Cool island. Oh, Worm! Do you want to sacrifice your land? You want to sacrifice your land? They didn't. Okay. Well, now Sarkhan is going to live his dream of being a queen. Lapless Dragon Queen! Sarkhan becomes a copy of Lapless. And I don't even need to animate this Sarkhan, so I won't, just to show off what this creature's ability is. We can pay 2 mana to make all our dragons get +1/+0, which is exactly 7 damage, which is all we need to take out Garuda. GG. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. If you'd like the deck list, you can find it in the description of the video. And if you like the deck, let me know in the comments. And if there's another deck you want to see me build, also let me know in the comments. Yes, Smut Guy, I still see you want me to build it. I have not figured out a way to build that deck that's not just Naya good stuff. If you know something I don't know, let me know. This deck is really cool, though. I like playing dragons decks and playing mono-red dragons. Yeah, that's cool, but playing mono-red with a little bit of blue, it's even nicer. As you saw in this video, sometimes a well-timed counterspell is all you need to win the game. A lot of people will put a lot of value into ramping to their commanders, and they won't necessarily play around, for example, the wash away. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes you can't play around the wash away, so you play your spells as you can, and you hope that you can still win the game around it. Sarkhan, Soul of Flame, not my favorite dragon commander. I would actually say that it's hard to compete for dragon commanders when we have such powerful dragons as Tiamat and Miriam. And even for mono-red dragons, something like, Sarkhan Wanderer to Shiv. This is a mono-red commander that's really great because it's removal, gets you more dragons, and discounts your dragons. Sarkhan Wanderer to Shiv, though, that's a different video. In fact, if you go look at my old videos, you'll find that video. It probably could use some updates. There's been some great new dragons, but, you know, dragons are dragons, and they really do kick butt. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you ever want to come say hi to my live stream, twitch.tv/Amazonian is where I stream pretty much every single day. I hope to see you there, and have a brawlful day.